moment you look at this motorcycle, there are very high chances that you can mistake this for the CB300R. Looks very similar in terms of styling, fit and finish, even the color scheme. But look a little closer. The 4 header pipes, they stand out and they can really turn you on. We're talking about the CB650R. Screams performance, and it's one beautiful motorcycle to be riding. So if you look at most of the motorcycles in the Honda stable, they're purpose built. While this one is a street fighter, you can also take it road touring. You can do pretty long distances because the entire motorcycle is so compact and very well designed. So we are talking about riding comfort here, right? Now when you look at the overall riding triangle of this motorcycle, you're sitting not too sporty, it's really not that comfortable as well. It's somewhere in between is what I would say. So if you look at, let's start from the front. If you look at the handlebar position, they're not upright, they're not towards you. They're quite flat, they're quite short, which basically means you can maneuver in traffic, squeeze in traffic really easily. But you will have to reach out to the handlebars a little bit, and that can take a toll on your wrists. But it's just a matter of time, you get used to it. And if you move back a little bit, your foot pegs, they are also a little bit rear set, which means there are chances that you can have a little bit of strain towards your calf and your thighs, but that comes with an added advantage in the handling departments, which we will talk in a bit. Now, apart from that, if you look at the tank, it's a completely metal tank and sculpted so well that you can hug the tank really well and you're really locked in a very beautiful commanding position while you're attacking those corners. Now, a place where you would spend more time on this motorcycle, and most importantly, are your seats. The seats are quite broad, they're quite soft, and they offer quite a decent amount of comfort when you're riding on the highway and even on the city. But if you're looking at pillion comfort, well, I don't think there's enough room for a pillion until and unless she's a model. But yeah, this bike is not meant for a two-up riding for a long distance. Maybe short rides, yes, you can definitely manage. But if you're planning to mount luggage and have a pillion here, you might want to reconsider that option, because you might have to either get a divorce or maybe have a breakup. So that's a more painful thing, right? So yeah, pillion comfort, not very sure on that, totally depends. But yeah, overall in terms of riding and comfort, this is quite a good option. In terms of features on the Honda CB650R, there's nothing fancy on this motorcycle. You get your standard dual channel ABS, traction control, and there's something that I really like about one of the features on this is the hazard. The way it works, while you have a standalone hazard switch, you also get this option where, say you're riding above 60 kilometers per hour and you brake really hard on a panic situation, the indicators automatically turn on. So apart from that, there's nothing else to explore in this motorcycle. In the electronics department, you don't get riding modes as such. But if there's one thing that I would really like to point out, and that's quite disturbing when you're riding, is very outdated TFT screen, man. They look, like the CB300F and the R, they look pretty similar in terms of the way the information is displayed. They're quite small. While it gives you the information needed, I think the way it's given to the rider when you're really belting those triple digits is really not that exciting. Looking at the motorcycle in the handling department, while you look at the overall wheelbase and the size of the motorcycle, you might assume that this handles really well. But I think this is where the bike really surprised me, because when you're really belting the bike, having some good spirited riding sessions in the corners, you feel the weight of the motorcycle when you are moving from left to right, taking those corners really fast. And when I mean weight, I'm not talking about the entire weight of the motorcycle. It's basically a little bit front heavy, and that kind of hampers your cornering sessions on the twisties. But if you look at the tires that they give you, it's a 120, 180, so you have enough grip from the Dunlops that you get here. And to put all of this speed and performance to stop, you have good enough brakes. They give you good feedback, good bite, and they work really well. Now, talking about the suspension setup on the Honda CB650R, well, it is tuned and set up for some good spirited riding, if I may call it that, because It does offer you enough comfort because the rear is preload adjustable only, while the front you get the Showa upside down forks, but they are not adjustable, and they're quite stiff, which means broken roads, bad roads, like I said, you are a little in the committed position, they can take a toll on your wrist and your shoulders. But I think having it in this setup gives you a good balance between the handling department, moving it around corners and even on the highways. But say for example you have the suspension set up a little too soft, that is where, if you notice, the ground clearance of this motorcycle, that's quite a bummer here, because at 149 mm, well, you're pretty much scraping quite a bit of speed breakers, those big speed breakers you have here, and those massive potholes you have to get into, because those beautiful pipes you see there, you just don't want to scar them. So you have to be a little careful, because the ground clearance of this motorcycle for our road conditions is a little here and there, but yeah, having it in the stiff setup does the job. So yeah, we've spoken about the handling, suspension, comfort and the overall ride quality of the CB650R. Did we speak about performance? Not yet, because I think we'll have to get riding, and not here, because anything above 4000 RPM, this Japanese beauty is one beautiful motorcycle to ride. It likes to get that front wheel up, it's got a lot of power, so let's get riding on the tarmac.
Let's talk performance now, shall we? We're looking at anything above 4000. This is a total animal altogether. It's not very often you see a 650cc clock 200 kilometers per hour. That's how easily this bike can do it, and you have absolutely no vibrations. Now coming to the overall performance bit, it doesn't heat up as much. You can still ride it around in the city, ride it to work, ride it to college. It's absolutely fine. If you're someone upgrading the motorcycle from a 200 to 250, this is easily rideable. And no matter what gear you're in, no matter what speed you are in, this just wants to pull to the triple digit mark in no time. Right, now coming to the city part of riding this motorcycle, I think it's quite easy to live with if you can manage a slight drop in mileage, where you're looking at inside 20. Right now I'm at 17.5 riding in chock-a-block traffic, and that's absolutely fine. It doesn't heat up as much, it's definitely manageable. The outside temperature is about 32 degrees, so it's quite hot, but the bike isn't heating up too much as well. And cities where you would be working around with the gearbox quite a bit as well. The gearbox is quite slick, quite smooth, they all fall in place. Not once during this entire shoot we had any false neutral or any stuff like that. But yeah, the clutch is also super light, which means you really don't have any wrist pain. But yeah, in the city it's absolutely fine. You can ride the bike on a daily basis. And most importantly, if you also notice, most of the CBRs, I mean the Honda inline 4s, they're not really loud. They are very, very subtle, more like a the electric bikes. But on the CB650R, you have the ram air intakes on the left and the right side, just below the petrol tank, so that gives you a nice big grunt when you whack the bike post that 4,000-5,000 RPM. And most importantly is the service part of this motorcycle. Well, Honda makes it easy for you. Inside 5,000 to 7,000 rupees is what you're looking at for a complete service of the CB650. You'd be looking at just your oil change, consumables, and smaller items that go onto the motorcycle. So I think at this price range and at this service cost, inline 4, I think it's quite a sweet deal. So there you have it, guys. We've had a fantastic time riding the CB650R. It's been a beautiful machine. We've had a lot of fun in the twisties and some really good triple digit speeds. So my verdict is under 11 lakhs. You get a lot of other motorcycles at a better deal. But yes, this can be pricey, but this is a better motorcycle when you compare it to the other bikes in this segment. So don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. My name is Ajit. I'll see you guys in the next one.